Hey guys, what's going on? This is a video I've wanted to make for a long time. I've wanted to talk about the 5 income sources that earned me $165,000 a month at 21 years old. I've had a couple reservations in talking about it. First, because I don't want to come off as braggy. I know that the circumstance that I'm in, there was a lot of luck in play. A lot of hard work too, but I definitely don't want to come off like I'm better than anyone or anything like that. And I also don't want to come off salesy because I'm not selling anything. I just want to give a different way that people can make money that may not have to do with online type businesses. None of my businesses are online businesses, and I think that's really rare for 2019 and also really rare for any kind of video documentation of this kind of thing. I've watched a few videos like this, and every single one, the primary source of income is some kind of online related business, whether it be through Amazon or through YouTube ads or a million different online things. Every single one of my businesses is a local service-based business, and this is an area that I think there's a huge opportunity in because these are established industries. Yes, there's a lot of competitors, and yes, it may be hard to get into at first, but there's a huge need, especially for young people coming up who understand what good customer service is and a more modern approach to these businesses, because there's a lot of older players who may know how to do the business but aren't offering the excellent back-end service that people really want in 2019. I believe there's always an opportunity in doing what the crowd isn't, and right now everyone is trying to have a business online, and it's just making that space harder and harder and harder to get your little piece of pie out of. And less people are doing the not so glamorous local service type businesses, and that's just bringing a bigger and bigger demand and just leaving more and more on the table. There's so many service businesses out there that are completely fully booked, and they're not even that great of businesses. I recently had my home painted, and I had 4 companies give me quotes for getting the entire exterior of my home painted, and not even a single one gave me a follow-up call after giving me my initial quote. And that just absolutely blew my mind, because these are high ticket price items. It was like $4,500, and not a single company even gave me a follow-up call. So, and that's just one business, one area, one industry. And I know there's tons like this. I have a buddy of mine who recently had some plumbing done and called like 7 or 8 plumbers, and only one would even come out because they had availability on their schedule. There's just so much to do, service-based, concrete type industries that already have a big market and a need, and the need isn't going away anytime soon. Now, I'm gonna first go over my pool cleaning and service business that I started when I moved to Arizona when I was 18 years old. First, I just got home, so I'm gonna get out of my car. Been sitting in here for a while. So with the pool cleaning business, I moved down here from Arizona, or I moved down here from Minnesota, and I just saw that there were so many pools around, and I just figured, there had to be some kind of money to earn from that. So I asked a couple buddies who had cleaned pools in the past, if it's worth trying out, and they're like, oh yeah, there's so many pools here, it's at least worth trying out. And it's a super cheap business to get started in. It was like $1,500 or something like that to get going. So I tried it out, and in the first month I got 0 clients, not a single one. I don't even think I got a call back in the first month. And I just kept on trying and tweaking marketing and changing up things a little bit by bit. And I think the second month I got like 2 or 3 clients, and then by like the third month I was getting between 10 and 20 new clients every single month. And I built it up to about 80, where I kept it at that for a while, because then I had some new opportunities after that. But it was just this awesome reoccurring source of income that I knew would be consistent every single month. And that's something that's really huge about that business, and that I wish was built into more businesses, is that reoccurring income. If there's any way to build in that reoccurring income, it makes it so much easier to run a business when you know you have these guaranteed cash flows and revenue coming in every single month. And this is also a business that I'm really proud of because it helped enable me to do much bigger things later on. And even this business was a result of doing much smaller things before that. Before that, I ran just a little single person landscaping company, which was just me. And I basically would just do any kind of work for $15 an hour. And this is when I was a teenager in Minnesota. And this is important because what I did at that time was save up every single dollar I earned. It didn't matter because I didn't have much expenses as a teenager anyways. So I saved up every single dollar because I knew later on there would be opportunities that I would have that would need much more money, and saving this money at this time would just enable me to do things faster at a younger age, and it ended up panning out that way. So I'm so grateful that I did that at a young age, and it enabled me to do the pool business and then my moving companies and then future projects from there. So at 21 years old, my pool cleaning and servicing business was earning me $16,500 a month, reoccurring income in the bank. I had one full-time employee and contracted a few other employees out to do like repair work and that kind of stuff. And also the beauty with this pool cleaning business is not only did I have the reoccurring income from every client, I also, by cleaning someone's pool, basically gave me first dibs to do all the repair work at their pool, which were the high ticket items. Basically, if anything breaks on a pool, it's gonna cost several $100s up to thousands of dollars. And by cleaning their pool, it basically gives you the reservation to do all of those. At least give the first quote and they already trust you, you're already in their yard, it works out great. And after that business is when things really start to scale up, because I was approached to purchase a local moving company. And this company is something that I was pretty familiar with because I had done some moves with them when I was first starting out my pool cleaning business. And I was familiar with how to do moves and how much they were charging for various jobs. And I saw that there was a ton of opportunity there to really make a ton of money by doing residential moves. So I was approached to buy this company. It was for a very cheap price because the company wasn't currently making any money. The management was doing a poor job, and the owner basically wanted to get rid of it and turn it into a franchise. So I did a ton of research on it, make sure that it was legit, make sure that this deal was actually what it seemed like it was gonna be. And then I just made the jump. I invested every single dollar I possibly had. I basically went broke. And from this point on, it was like do or die. I needed to make this thing work. I was not gonna be the reason that this business would fail. I was on the moves, I was doing the office work, I was doing the payroll, I was doing the recruiting, absolutely everything I possibly could do, I was doing to save any dollar to up the chances just a little bit more that this business would survive. And in the end, it ended up working out amazingly. Within the first 15 months, we grew something like 1,400%. It was just skyrocketing. It felt like we were literally on a rocket ship of growth. And every single month was just killing the previous month's numbers bit by bit by bit by bit. And it was amazing. And that business at 21 years old was earning me $77,000 a month in income. And I just was so stoked by that. I couldn't believe, that those numbers were even real, and where I had went in like something like 6 or 7 years from doing that little landscaping company to now this. And then from there, I wanted to grow it even more, but keeping that location, because that location was my baby. That's what I really focused most of my attention on, but I knew that this formula was working and I wanted to expand it even further. And at this point, we had something like 30 or 40 guys at this Arizona location. It was starting to run really well. We were building out systems. I was learning so much, like day to day, more than I could possibly have ever learned with like a college degree or anything like that. Like just jumping into it, by brute force, I had to learn all these things. So from there, we ended up opening 2 more locations, and they actually opened within 3 weeks of each other, which was just absolute chaos. And there were certain things we definitely could have done smarter looking back, but it was a great learning experience, and we ended up pushing through it, making it work. So the first one that opened was in Salt Lake City, Utah, where we sent a manager, a couple guys, a truck, opened a location there, spent a few weeks there doing marketing, doing all that. And at 21 years old, that is making me just shy of $18,000 a month, reoccurring income. And this was considered a huge success because that was something like a year after we had started, and it was already, pumping these numbers and not with us there. I will say though that any location that's manager ran is much harder to manage than a local one in which you run. I've found that basically the further the distance from the home base a location is, the harder it is to manage. And it ended up getting harder and harder to manage these things, but I'll go over that a little bit more later. The other location was in Austin, Texas. That one did even better than the Utah location. At 21 years old, that location was earning $41,000 a month. It's probably mostly due just to location. It's really hard to know exactly the numbers that a company will do before you get there. And there's a little bit of luck of draw. But that location also had a really good manager, so that came into play as well. But $41,000 additional every single month coming in was absolutely huge and super exciting, especially at the young age of 21. And at this point, we're managing something like 60 or 70 employees every single day. And it was a bit chaotic, I will definitely admit that, but it was also super exciting. It still is exciting with all the things that we're doing today. From there, we found another need that was call center services. So what we ended up doing was making a service in which we would do the admin work, the scheduling, the booking, and all that for other moving companies within our brand. Because now that this brand was growing, there was a huge need for this. So we decided we would make this call center in which we'd do all their bookings for them, and then we would just charge them a percentage of revenue. And that was super helpful for them because a location just starting out couldn't afford having, $3,000-4,000 a month for one office worker to sit around when they're not getting a whole bunch of bookings right away. So this way, like let's say in the first month, they only made $1,000, they would only have to pay us $60. But if they're making $10,000, then they'd have to pay us like $600, and it would just scale up from there, and it ended up working super well that way. For us and them, made it much easier to scale, much easier for them to grow and reinvest money into their company. And at 21 years old, that location or that call center was making me just over $11,000 a month. And that was another business that was a pure reoccurring type income, which I absolutely love because we had these set clients that we knew for certain that they were going to pay us every single month. We basically knew if they were going to succeed, we were going to succeed. And that was something that I really liked because, I was there. I had done all the things that they're going through. I was able to give them advice, and it works out really well that way. And that's it. That's all the 5 sources that earned me $165,000 a month when I was 21 years old. And the reason I say 21 years old is because I'm 23 years old now, and since then I've sold a couple businesses. I scaled down a little bit because I wanted to focus more attention on fewer things and be better at fewer things, and to give me more time to explore other options and to teach other people. So that's something that I'm working on currently and something I'm super excited about and super excited about the future in. And I'd like to say all the business successes in these service industries are mostly because of the same reasons. It's mostly because there's these existing industries that just were not offering the same level of customer service that we were able to offer. And it was, mostly the common sense things that would come up and make us succeed more than the competitors and make us grow faster than they were. It's just small things, attention to detail, making sure you call the client and keep them updated on any information, being honest about pricing, having a goal to make people customers for life, especially in businesses with high ticket price like moving, where they're paying thousands of dollars every few years. You want to be the person they call again next time they move. That way you don't have to spend the money to get a new customer. You already have this person, they're familiar with you, they're referring you to their friends. It's just doing a good job and just having respect for the industry and the business itself, and having respect for yourself in just doing a good job. And it's much easier for employees to like their job and to want to be there when the owner or manager really cares and is doing a good job as well, and cares about the clients and is thinking in the long term. And I hope this video gives a fresh perspective to other people out there that shows that you don't have to have an online business to make any amount of money, even at a young age. You know, it might be a little intimidating to think about having to manage employees and whatnot, but it's really not that bad. I promise. Most people can do it. There's, you know, nothing different or extraordinary about me. I was just a kid who moved to Arizona from Minnesota and, you know, spent a lot of time working and made it happen. So I really appreciate you watching. And if you like this video, please give it a like, because that helps the YouTube algorithm a lot and would help me reach a wider audience with this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to me if you like this kind of content and other business type tips and seeing the raw, real side of what it takes to run and manage a business. Thanks.